Hey, good morning, Arkansas, USA Wrestling. What a great day today. We're going to have some special guests with us, kicking off our podcast series for the 25-26 season. And I got to tell you, it's been an amazing year. It's been amazing 2 or 3 years to see the growth of Arkansas wrestling. And we're kicking off our series this year before we get into the folk style season with some of the bigger happenings in our state. And I'm very honored to be here today with Coach Eric Cooley from Williams Baptist University and Coach Lindley Aspel from Murray State College in Oklahoma. And what's special about these two coaches and should be special and celebrated across the state of Arkansas that these two coaches are the first coaches to wrestle in Arkansas and then become college coaches. So it's an honor to have you two here. Coach Cooley, thank you for being here. You're at Williams Baptist. Where's that? That's in Arkansas, correct?
Yep, Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, about 30 minutes from Jonesboro.
Nice. And Coach Asbill, you're in Oklahoma. What part?
Tishamigo, we're about 30 minutes west of Durant, so close
Not
to
too
the
far
Texas
from
line.
not too far from home, maybe a couple hours.
Yeah, we're about 3 hours from Fort Smith.
Okay, nice. Well, hey, let's get kicked off. Arkansas wrestlers becoming college coaches. Coach Cooley, tell us about your Arkansas journey. You started eighth grade, correct?
Yeah, started in eighth grade. I was obviously behind the curve as far as just getting my feet wet with wrestling in general. So, yeah, it was eighth grade and thought that it was just fun to try to get those abilities and get myself prepared for football. And then it was around 10th grade that I was like, football isn't for me anymore. I think wrestling is it. So full time starting in 10th grade and wrestled for Cabot High School in Central Arkansas. So yeah, it was great to get to know those guys and get better on the mat. And yeah, finished high school in 2015 and immediately transitioned over to Williams Baptist uh, in that year and graduated in 2019 with a business degree. So it was a roller coaster of events, I must say, with both wrestling and also academics. So, but that pretty much made me who the man I am today is because of wrestling.
That is awesome. And so, Williams Baptist is your alma mater, going back there and giving back to that. Tell us a little bit about your college there.
Yeah, it is NAIA located in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. The program started in 2014, so I was the second year of the program, but still got to know some of the guys who started the program here. The original head coach, Kerry Regner, who I still keep in touch to this day. Uh, it, we just knew that the program was going to keep going, just grow, not just in the state of Arkansas, but also nationwide. And I got to experience that firsthand, just how much it was growing, because we were in the top five in back-to-back years in 2017 and 18. Uh, and majority of that help was from our two national champs, Demetrius Thomas, who I'm sure everybody knows very well right now, and former head coach Tyler Fraley, who won it at 141. So yeah, we just knew how much it was growing, and definitely looking forward to the challenge here now as a head coach.
Now, one of the things that I always enjoyed was Regner, Coach Regner, when he came in, and I've had some opportunities to go some camps up there at William Baptist, and not only his mark on you, but with Williams Baptist program, there's so many Williams Baptist graduates right now that are in wrestling in Arkansas, the Grigsbys, uh,
Mhm.
the Willie Wrights of the world, the people that were there. Now, question. Were you part of that infamous cowboy video with
Yes,
Coach
yes, the
Ragnar?
introduction video, right? Yep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put a link to that somewhere in this. It's a must see because some of those Arkansas wrestlers there, Coach Ragnar, that was a great video. Any plans of recreating something like that, Coach? Putting
Yeah,
you on the spot.
we're gonna try to get some video editors and try to try to bring that back to the program. But yeah, that was definitely fun and entertaining. But at the same time, we just knew how much we were growing, so we just wanted to get our brand out there for everyone to see all around the country. So yeah, we definitely want to bring something like that back.
I love it. I love it. Coach Asbill, again, also an Arkansas wrestler. Tell us a little bit about your story, your timeline, and where you're at now.
So I started in Jay, Oklahoma. It's a small town, northeast Oklahoma. And I started in the seventh grade. I was originally a softball player. I loved softball. And to be honest, the school I went to was you had to do sport every season, so fall, spring, and winter. And so the only other option for girls was basketball, and I was not getting anywhere with my basketball career. So I went and just went to the mat. I went up to the old head coach, was my dad's football coach when he was in school. He now coaches here in Arkansas, Stapleton.
Grab it, right?
Yeah, he coaches at Gravett. So, yes, so that was originally my coach, along with Isaac Wilson, who did a little bit of time wrestling or coaching here. He also wrestled for William Baptist, so kind of full circle moment. Uh, after about so middle school ended, I ended up transferring to Rogers Heritage, where I did two school years there, and then I finished my junior and senior year over at Rogers High, where we had a full women's team. We're able to win state, dual state, regionals, kind of any tournament we went to. We were top dogs for sure that year. And ever since that year, Rogers has been a top-notch program. So it's definitely something I'm proud of and excited I got to be a part of.
So you did the time Rogers Heritage, and then where did you end up? College. One of the first female athletes. There's been few that have been out, but really the explosion in the last 2 or 3 years of Arkansas female athletes going to wrestling college. Tell us a little bit about your story there.
So I committed to quite a few schools, one in Arkansas, the Ozarks. I last minute decided to switch over and switch my commitment to Carl Albert State College. It's on the line of like the Fort Smith, Oklahoma line. I did 2 years there, junior college, and that's brought me where I graduated there this May, and now that's where I'm at today.
All right, a little action with when you got out, you graduated just what in May of this year, right? So we talked about this.
Yes.
Coach Asbill has been a part of the Valkyrie Women's Wrestling Club that's kind of exploded on the scene, and you've had the opportunity to expand onto the national teams and kind of leave your mark on that. Tell us a little bit about that story, and then how you ended up at your first college gig, Murray State.
Yeah, so I had a great time at Carl Albert. I got to wrestle along with some of the greatest, I want to say, wrestlers in the country. We had several national champions on the women's and men's side. Lots of placers. Every year we were breaking program history with national placers. So that was really exciting. It really made me just, keep the people that I was surrounded by every single day really drove me to, keep being passionate about wrestling. It's a long season. 6 months in college is it gets tiring. So, you gotta have the right support system. Uh, Following up with my last nationals this past March, I reached out, I believe, to Coach Moore here, and I wanted to see if I could get involved with the club. I had saw that there was some type of club hanging out at the Hangout in Fort Smith. I had been giving privates to a lot of high school girls in the Oklahoma area, Poto area, where Carl Albert's at. And I was thinking about going to UFIS and finishing my degree. So, having a little side job there of working with the girls and staying involved in wrestling. I just didn't think I could ever give it up. And then it's kind of brought me where I am today. I sat down here with Coach Moore, and he had a vision. I really liked the vision. I kind of bounced some ideas off the vision that he had of creating the Valkyrie Women's Wrestling Club. It was the first ever all-female club in Arkansas, and it specialized around freestyle, which was great because a lot of girls, like myself, were nervous or scared of freestyle. You see these big throws by Olympians on the internet, and you're like, "Whoa!" But in reality, that can happen in like any match, freestyle, folk style, Greco, there's always a chance of injuries. There's always a chance of being thrown or however you want to put it. But I've wrestled freestyle this week going on my third year, and I love it. It's fun. It's exciting. Matches go by really quick. So, you got to be full alert. Um, so I did Valkyrie for a few months. We actually we had took two teams to the OKC RTC duels in Oklahoma City, and we had one team full of state champions from Arkansas. So every single girl on that one team was a state champion at different weights, and then we took fifth at that tournament, and it was really exciting to see all the girls from all these different schools, parts of the state, just getting together and
That was
wrestling
a,
together,
that
making
was a
friends.
pretty decent sized tournament too, right? Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma, there. It
Sev
wasn't just a
Yes, we were the only Arkansas team. We faced like four Texas teams. I want to say a couple Kansas teams, a Missouri team, Oklahoma team. We also brought another team. Uh, we had of just all the other girls that wanted. We ended up having so many registrations that we were able to, and fortunate enough to take two different teams to this tournament. So it was definitely a breaking point in Arkansas wrestling to get everybody together in the off season and wrestling.
yeah.
So that kind of started it off. The girls loved it so much, we decided to keep doing it. Me and Coach Copeland, she runs the Valkyrie up in Springdale area, and yeah, so she's really helpful. We had lots of great coaches along the way too. She was not the only one. We had coaches in Conway, Presley, Vivi, Margaret Jordan, and Gabby Watson. Of course, we have our coaches down in Fort Smith. Emery and Emily. They were super helpful along with Alexis. Yeah, everybody just
A
came together.
great summer of wrestling there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was just a great summer wrestling.
I want to ask Coach Cooley, speaking of state champions, Arkansas state championships, you have some state champions coming to Williams Baptist, right? That's Savager's headed your way. You got Trip Price coming, so a four-timer. What's your thoughts on Arkansas wrestling, and what are you excited about as we continue to grow?
I'm definitely first off looking forward to guys like Trip Price and Caden Savidra, who started his career pretty much in South Carolina and was a state place over there, went to Virginia, uh, won the state title over there before moving to Arkansas his senior year, and he won the state title um, uh, this past year as a senior. So, I pretty much just see Arkansas wrestling just growing from here. And I think with us bringing in guys like Tripp and Caden and even Landon Holmes, who won the state title, we're bringing some pretty good dogs over here that will not only represent Arkansas wrestling but also Williams Baptist. So we're definitely thrilled about that, and we're looking to get some more Arkansas wrestlers who can take their knowledge to the next level.
That's awesome. One of the things that we'll talk about in the series, I'm going to touch base with Anaya Dinwiddie from up there in your area, the Jonesboro area, and she's our
Mhm.
first Arkansas national champion, collegiate at any level, male or female. All right, we've had some All-Americans, Tyler Mann, and some of the other uh, athletes that have performed well, but our first national champion, and I think we talk about the Trips of Adras and Holmes and the young ladies we got going to Carl Albert, Baker, Margaret Jordan. I'm rooting for her this year, but there's some more Arkansas national champions coming, right? And it's on the work that you and Coach Lindley are doing, the work that you guys have put to helping to elevate Arkansas wrestling. What do you see, Coach Asbill, as far as elevating women's freestyle? John Smith, a big hire. You talk about putting women's freestyle on the mat in the forefront. John Smith says, "Hey, one of the most decorated men's coaches in history. I'm going to go help the girls." Right? What does that do for women's wrestling and Arkansas women's wrestling in particular?
I mean, I'm pumped. When I first saw the news, I mean, it even made my, my inner younger self, excited and pumped because, when I was younger and in a school, it wasn't very popular, for especially for men coaches to be involved and stuff like that. So to have someone with such decorated stance and someone who's so involved with, the levels of wrestling and, really knows what he's talking about, it's amazing to have that come back and to the women's side. He has so much knowledge and, as a school that's only an hour and a half, 2 hours away from them, I hope we get a duel against them because, I want to meet John Smith. I'd love to, wrestle our girls, wrestle their girls. Um, it excites me. It really gets me going. So
That's
I think
awesome.
it's going to be great for, advancement all over nationally for women's wrestling.
And Coach Cooley on the folk style side, right? The dominant nature of schools like Penn State and stuff like that at the NCAA level, they still have those powerhouses in your conference too, NAIA, all the levels. I always say Arkansas is fortunate we have wrestling at every level, right? D1, D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO. But NAIA wrestling has been around for a long time, right? And you guys have some powerhouses in your conference. What does your season look like? And what's Coach Cooley and Williams Baptist going to get offered this year?
So we were pretty much off to a late start last season with me getting hired in May. So it took me a while to get my feet dirty with the coaching part and pretty much being in the same seat as guys like Kerry Regner and Tyler Fraley, Todd Allen, all of them. But it was definitely a challenge for my first year last year, with only having 8 guys on the team. So the wrestling community know that that's not a full roster. So that was a definitely an obstacle course for me. But now with us having 27, 28 guys on the team this upcoming year, we definitely wanted to schedule more for this upcoming season. So we had 9 things scheduled last year. Now we're looking at 15 that we're going to that's going to states like Georgia, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri. We're going pretty much everywhere. That's the southern states and just getting our name out there. So I think these 27, 28 guys will definitely put us back on the map, and I'm looking forward to it.
Outstanding, Coach. Both of you, I appreciate you guys taking your time out to speak with us and speak to Arkansas wrestling. It's going to be an exciting year. It's going to be an exciting future for Arkansas wrestling. You two are definitely at the forefront of that and inspiration to the other athletes that are there, that might be saying, "Hey, what does my future look like for wrestling?" 100%, no doubt, wrestling is the hardest sport in the world, but there's got to be something, nothing more satisfying than being able to say, "Hey, look, I can do this battle. I can make it. I can be a part of giving back to the sport and make a little money doing it, right? As coaches or and grad assistants, stuff like that. Let's end with this. What's your advice? We'll start with Coach Cooley. What's your advice for the young folk style athlete that's in Arkansas right now and is saying, "Hey, what do I do with this sport? Where do I go from this?" And what's your advice to that young athlete?
Don't don't even though you're obviously striving for greatness and you're chasing state championships and national recognition, if you uh unfortunately don't meet those goals, don't give up on yourself. I wasn't a state champion. I was national placer at some point, but that didn't tell me to give up on my dreams. Always find ways of getting 1% better, on and off the mat, and good things will come.
Outstanding. Coach Asbill, same question for you. What do these young ladies need to look at as far as getting themselves ready for the next level and some advice you have for them from your story?
Um, just keep wrestling. Any opportunity you get, wrestling isn't just a winter sport. Wrestle in the summer too. When you have opportunities presented to you, try to take them. When you can, get in the car with your friend and hit the road. Try to hit a tournament in Oklahoma. Try to hit a tournament in Kansas. Wrestling outside the state is only going to prepare you for college because when you get to college, you're not just wrestling inside your state, you're wrestling nationally. So if you want to be able to compete nationally, start now.
I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate coaches. This is going to be an opportunity to again highlight the success that we've had, and we'll continue to support our athletes at the next level, work to build them to that next level, and surely in the next few weeks, months, and years, we'll tap you two to help us out and continue to grow the state of Arkansas. So I appreciate you both, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.